here for Mama's Confidence, but Dad's Invited, where I interview mothers and fathers making it happen in the community and in their life, right? So today I have Greg Rowlett, right? I'm saying her last name.
You got it. Yeah, you rocked it.
Roll it off my tongue. All right.
Exactly.
And he is an ambitious dad, and I named this How to Have an Ambitious Mindset interview, and I named him a super dad because he is just rocking and rolling with the kids and with the wife and just making everything happen in his business and in the community, and I love it. So I wanted to have him on the show so he can kind of give us a little bit of insight on how to have an ambitious mindset. What do we need to do? Let's just get started. Let's dive right in. First, number one, tell me a little bit about yourself, and I'm going to let you introduce yourself, what your business is, and how you got started doing all this good stuff. How many kids do you have?
Yeah, I got two. My youngest just turned 2 yesterday, which was Thursday, and
nice.
Big party. So in the midst of launching a Kickstarter campaign, our biggest week of live classes, you throw a birthday party in the mix, no big deal.
Wow.
So but that's part of the name of the game, right? So I got started in the whole craziness because I wanted to be Master P when I grew up. Back in high school, I saw what the hip hop moguls were doing, the Master P's, the Baby at Cash Money, the P Diddy's, the Dame Dashes. And those were like the true entrepreneurs to me because they took really a situation where they didn't have a lot going for them. No one wanted to play their music. No one wanted to give them deals. No one wanted to do distribution, and they just did it themselves. And it kind of reminds me of what's happening with entrepreneurship today is, P. Diddy in the 90s is Zuckerberg today that it really is a similar comparison. Now, I think that, obviously there are different businesses and mindsets, all that, but that's what I wanted to do back when I was in high school. I wanted to start my own record label. I loved what Master P and No Limit Records was doing. And so they let me out of school every day at noon, my senior year to start a senior project. And I started a record label and I signed myself, obviously, because why would you not? As the first artist on the label, spent 10 years doing that, traveled the country. I played everywhere from Madison Square Garden in New York City to the Knitting Factory out in LA and anywhere and everywhere in between, parlayed that into then teaching musicians how we were doing what we were doing because look, no one wants to book a white rapper and his rock band in their venue, right? No one wants us to come play where they are.
I don't believe that. I don't believe
I mean, look at any musician, right? Like no one wants to hear your crappy rock music. They don't want to hear you rap. They don't want to. So you have to fight your way into it. And so I taught musicians how we did that, how we fought into some of these incredible venues and created an information business selling courses, trainings, coaching, membership sites, all that stuff for musicians. Met my partner now, Nick Nanton, Celebrity Branding Agency. I'll do a little turn here. You probably can't see, but there's a movie poster. Where's my finger? In the top corner with my business partners. And he said, hey, all that stuff that you do for musicians, and there he is too on the book cover. All that stuff that you do for musicians, can you do that for business owners? And I was like, that sounds way cooler because musicians are broke, right? Love them to death, but they're not the most financially stable of businesses. And so got into that. Been a partner now at the Celebrity Branding Agency for just over 5 years, and we were bored with that. I won't get into that story today, but we started ambitious.com about a year ago. The opportunity came up to buy the domain, and we really wanted to build our own media network. It is my belief that he who controls the media controls the world. And so, think about things like this, like, we're blabbing this morning. I've never blabbed before, but so this is fun. But he who has the biggest audience on Blab has influence. They have power. They are able to sell their products and services. They're able to have influence. They're able to tell people to go donate to this cause or, let's do this or let's jump on that. And, he with the biggest media network has the biggest reach, the biggest impact, the biggest influence. So we were like, let's build a media network. And that's what we've been doing with ambitious.com. And right now it is one of the largest online educational sites for entrepreneurs. And what we do is we do live classes where we bring in experts from all over the world, all kinds of subjects, and they teach their best stuff live. So most of the time people have to go and they got to pay hundreds of dollars to thousands of dollars to get access to these people and buy their courses and products and whatever it is. Well, we do it for free. And how we monetize is it's a freemium based model in that prove that you're going to actually teach me something that can help me. And if you do, I'll support you by buying the recordings to the course. So, you see these big launches that all these online people do, and they say they give you like 3 free videos, but really they're just sales videos setting you up for the sale. And we all know it. We've all gone through it. Not to say that they're not valuable. But then, thousands of people go and watch these free videos, but then only a handful of people actually buy the course. Well, what if thousands of people actually went through the course and then you still ended up with the same number of buyers because they supported you because you said, hey, that was actually good stuff. And I'm not ready for it yet, but I want to buy the recordings and I want to go back to it later. And so We say that we're like the Today Show or Good Morning America mixed with QVC, and it's been really fun. And
how did you get over the fear of getting started? Because so often entrepreneurs have this fear that kind of stops them from getting started. How did you get over that?
Yeah, they totally. Yeah, I mean, I have fear every day. I'm scared crapless that Monday is going to suck, and we've been working our tail off to make sure that it doesn't. But Monday morning comes, the rubber hits the pavement. But I mean, every single day I'm scared. And I think that if you're not scared, you're not challenging yourself. You're not pushing yourself. You're going to stay in a place of comfort. And if you're in a place of comfort, you're not in a place of growth. So if you want to make more money and you're comfortable, you're not actually probably going to make more money. You have to push yourself into those places. Now, how do you do that? I think it really is baby steps, right? So, you do your first blab, your first Periscope, a Facebook Live, and I'm using that kind of context, just, do a 5-minute one. Just share 3 quick tips about something that you did. No one watches, you didn't fail publicly. You didn't, nothing, but you got comfortable in front of the camera. You got comfortable being in the moment. Go onto something like medium.com, write a blog post. Again, if no one reads it, it still was practice. And it got you over that fear of letting the world know that your work is out there. Start with your network. I mean, for the Kickstarter campaign, I'm not this person, but every single person in my phone is getting texted, is getting called, is getting emailed, and I'm begging, borrowing, and stealing my way through it. And that is scary for me because I'm not that person. I use usually media as a medium to sell. So I go on a platform like this, or I do a webinar, or I do a live stream, or I write a sales letter, do something in direct mail, and then people read it and they go, oh, I want to talk to Greg. Versus me being like, hey, Jessica, I got this Kickstarter, and would you mind pledging $25 because I would love you forever. That puts me in a very uncomfortable place. It is very scary. There's a lot of fear that is in there. But again, I think it's one person at a time. It's looking for the low-hanging fruit. So the first couple people that I asked were people that I know would have, laid on a bullet for me if I asked them to. So it was easy wins, and it's easy to get momentum when you find some of those, quicker wins. So, turn to the mother-in-law, like, hey, will you donate $50 to the cause? And she's like, of course I will. And so you get a couple yeses, and you get a little bit of momentum. You get a little, and I think that starts to offset the fear. You do need wins, like being in that call center environment where you're just smiling and dialing all day, and everybody's hanging up on you. I mean, that is a reality that a lot of people think that's what selling is. They think that that's what putting themselves out in the world is. It's not, and the other end of fear is understanding and having the confidence that you can actually do what you say you can do. So I see Gary Vee talks a lot about this, and it's one of the points that I agree with him on. I don't agree with him on everything, is that you have to have the skills, you got to have the chops in order to go out and, make a nice business. And so a lot of people, he talks about the 22-year-old life coach. Like, it is hard to be a 22-year-old life coach because what have you done? You just got out of college. Like, you just went to keg parties for 4 years and sorority events, and you don't know the first thing about, running a business or helping someone with their life. And I think you do need to have the skills and the chops. Now, that isn't to say that you can't start a business at 22, but maybe you've been playing at college bars and you've been doing cover shows and you're an awesome guitar player. Well, teach that. Learn some business skills and how to create a guitar selling business. And then 5 years from now, go and teach people how to run a business. So it doesn't mean that you can't start a business, but go to your skills, actually have chops. And when you have real chops and you have real skills and you can actually provide value to people, it's much less scary. I think people are scared because they bought a course about webinars, and now they're doing a webinar where they're teaching how to do webinars because they just learned how to do webinars, and this is their first webinar. And they're scared to do that because they don't know shit. They don't know smack about webinars. Sorry,
Thank you.
I tend to slip a little bit, but
it's all good. Hey, we're we're not human, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, but I mean, I think that's the thing is, they see one of their peers like talking about how to make $1 million. So they think that they got to go take a picture in front of a Lambo and tell people the dream about making $1 million. That's scary because you're
faking it.
You're completely faking it. So there's a difference between having confidence and the fake it till you make it mentality and actually faking it.
So Greg, you're on this point, and I want to really dive in deep on this point because that's what my show is called. It's called Mama's Confidence, Dad's Advice. So I really drill on how confidence plays in your business. So tell me what part of confidence.
It's 100%. Like everything exudes from confidence. So there's a quote, I think it's Zig Ziglar, one of the classic success trainers of all time. And he said that timid salespeople have skinny kids. And so coming from parents, like if you're selling on your heels, if you're selling from a place of, you know what, Jessica, you might like this. And if you want to sign up, that'd be cool. Well, you're going to have some skinny kids, right? Because you're not going to be able to close the deal. And I think having the confidence to say, you know what, Jessica, I can really help you grow your business. I can really help you to do X, Y, and Z. And in 90 days, you know, A, B, and C are going to happen. Are you ready to make that kind of investment today? That comes from a place of confidence because I know I'm really good at what I do. I know that I can actually provide value to you. I can help you. And if I don't have that confidence, then I'm not going to make that sale, and my kids are going to be pretty skinny. So confidence.
Because they're not going to be eating.
Yeah. Well, like in a video like this, like, so we're live right now. I can't fake this. I don't have a script. I don't have anything, you know, like in front of me. Like there's no teleprompter. I can turn the camera. Like my email's open in front of us. Like there's no teleprompter. I have no bullet points. Like I either know my stuff or I don't.
And seriously, we're going to have to do another one of these so you can walk me around like your office.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you guys can take a look, I'll post this up on my YouTube channel as well later on. You guys have to look at this and look at his background. It's crazy awesome. I love this. This is your office. Thanks. In the background?
Yeah, so this is our this is the penthouse studio that we have. So I think you were on one of our live classes. If I walk this way down the hallway, we're in the filming studio right now. I'm in the conference
and there's
room,
a kitchen and everything.
Oh, we do it big. So doing the quick
I gotta come visit you guys. I gotta hang out. Okay, anyway, back to the interview.
Yeah.
So with the portion of confidence and all that good stuff, and you talk a little bit about learning to do webinars and then teaching other people to learn to do webinars, which I think is really key. Because we see that so often in the informational space where it's like, oh yeah, just learn this one little piece of X, Y, and Z, and then you can go and teach other people how to do X, Y, and Z. And that's not necessarily the case because there's so many other components that come along with it. Just myself being in this space, I've found that just doing my research, that's why I call my company the General Research Institute, because I love doing research, data, all that good stuff. So when I go and I research people and find out how do they get successful, what steps did they take? Like we talked on the phone before, they all began with, you know, mediocre beginnings. Like the first, like you said, the first video they did was totally crap. And then they advanced, so on and so forth, right? So how do we build that up? How do we just not go after like that, you know, like you said, some person that's selling us a dream and, you know, take a picture in front of a lamp or take a picture with Gary Vee at a workshop or something and go, oh yeah, now I can teach you how to be a motivational speaker, you know?
So I think the thing that people are scared of, or they assume that you have to be teaching how to grow a business or teaching how to make money. And that's the only path that there is. 100% not true. So I actually believe that there's more riches in the niches, if you will. You know, if you learn how to do webinars, don't do a webinar about how to do webinars because you learn how to do webinars. Take that skill you learn in doing webinars and teach people something that you actually know. So are you a great golfer? So use a webinar to teach someone 3 quick tips they can do to play better at golf. It's not that the skill that they learned in webinars or Twitter or Facebook ads or whatever it is, it's not that the skill they learned was bad. They're applying it to the wrong thing. So think about all the other things that you do. I mean, I share this example a lot. If you go to udemy.com and you search for Microsoft Excel, there's this one dude, and I forget his name, but he has sold $15 million worth of Microsoft Excel basics. Every college student on the planet can teach this class. This guy just did it, put it on Udemy, did some good marketing, and he's teaching Microsoft Excel. 15 milli. That's like LeBron James money for teaching Microsoft Excel. So all these skills that you inherently have, that you already have. Now, look, now what this guy can do. Now I've sold $15 million worth of courses on Microsoft Excel. That guy is in a really good spot to now teach you how to create a course.
I was just going to say
that. He's now in a really good spot. He's build. And there's also this, everyone wants success like right now today. I'm a millennial, and I'm a firm believer in young people and giving them, but we do have this patience problem. We have this, we want to take over the world now because we see like a LeBron James at 18 years old going to the pros. We see Bryce Harper at, you know, skipping his senior year of high school to go to college so he can get drafted sooner in Major League Baseball. We see all these young people. We see Justin Bieber, who's, you know, 16 when he started going on tour. And so
don't even bring up that name right now.
Hey, I know, right? But we see these young people who have this success that we think it's overnight, right? They don't know that Bryce Harper, since the age of like 12, has been waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning to do batting practice for 4 hours before school. We're not willing to make that sacrifice. We just, again, want to buy the course about courses.
They want the microwave results. And nothing is done in a microwave. If anything, it's done in a slow cooker.
100%. And we'd also rather watch Game of Thrones than shoot a video. We would rather jump on Netflix.
Wait a minute, hold on, high fives. For sure. Yeah, you cannot watch TV in this game. No way.
Well, so it's priority, right? So it's the same thing as the guy who says that he wants. So Jessica, I really want to lose weight. while you're eating in a freaking In-N-Out burger, right? So it's not congruent. They don't line up. So if you say you really want to have this business, but your actions don't show that, look, lifestyle is important to me, right? So it is very important that you build the business that fits your lifestyle. So if your lifestyle is you want to go party at the bars on Friday night, there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you want. Well, then is Saturday morning your time to work on your business? Is Saturday afternoon? Are you hungover all day on Saturday so you can't work on your business? So you got to think about those things in your process. So I teach this concept that Tim Ferriss talked about it in the 4-Hour Workweek. He says that most people want $1 million, or they think that they want $1 million. What they really want is they want the freedom that they think comes with having $1 million. And when I ask people, so I'm like, Jessica, how much does your perfect life cost you? Most people don't know the answer to that. I don't know if you do or don't, but most people, so I say, well, so let's start simple. Where do you want to live? What city do you want to live in? Do you want to live in a house? Do you want to live in a condo? Do you want to be in an apartment? Do you want to be on the beach? Do you want to be on a lake? Do you want to be in the city? Do you want to be in the country? Do you want to be on a farm? Like, let's start there. And then I'm like, okay, cool. So in a perfect world, this is where you want to live. How much does it cost to live in that house? I don't know. Well, then go to freaking Zillow, look at a comparable house, see how much the house costs, and in there's a mortgage calculator, and do your down payment and see how much that house costs. And they go, holy crap, to live on a house on a lake in the country, it's only going to cost me $3,000 a month. Now, to somebody that might be the most expensive thing in the entire world, for someone else to go, oh wow, for $3,000 I can live in my ideal house. Doesn't matter, right? So I go through all these exercises. What's the ideal car you want, right? Do you want a Porsche 911 Turbo? Cost you $1,000 a month, right? So now I got the perfect house and I got the Porsche, $4,000 a month. You don't need $1 million to make $4,000 a month. Right? $4,000 a month is what? $48,000 a year. I got it. It's more complicated than that, but at the bare minimum level. So now we need to create the business that fits that. So most people, again, don't need $1 million business. They need a 6-figure business. They need to make $150,000 a year, maybe $300,000. For some people, like as I've grown and expanded in my own business, like we have 40 something employees in house now. We have a lot of real estate that we pay for. I got kids. I got a nice more. Like my expenses are a little higher at this point, but I'm also 10, 15 years into this. So they've gone up. But for most people, do those basic exercises, and now you can say, you know what? I only need to make $60,000 this year, and I can pretty much do whatever I want. I only need to make $80,000 this year, and I can do. Again, everybody's math is different. If you got kids and you got daycare and you got got it. But do your exercise and then find the business path to get you there. And I think that's going to help you with pricing. So you say, hey, all right, I need to make $6,000 a month. Well, guess what? That's only 6 clients paying you $1,000 a month. That's not 6 million. That's not 600,000. 6 clients paying you $1,000 a month. 12 paying you $500 a month. Right? So now you start to do the math. You really start to break it down. And this goes back to confidence. This goes back to getting over fear. This goes back to all that stuff. Because they go, well, crap, I'm not Grant Cardone. I don't have 20 gazillion followers. I'm not Gary Vee. I'm not Tim Ferriss. I'm not insert whatever name is here. And I go, you don't need to be. You need 6 people. You need 6.
Exactly.
6 people or 10 people, whatever the number is. And then they start to go, whoa. It completely changes everything in their life. And so that goes back to confidence. It goes back to mindset. But if you haven't made a plan for what you want in your life, any what's that quote? Like any road will get you there or whatever, right?
A big piece of that is though. A lot of my clients and the people I talk to that go through my courses and things like that, their big thing is worth. These are these are speakers. These are nonprofit organizations. These are people that are out there, in the field, and their whole thing is, I want to help, I want to inspire, I want to give hope, and I want to, spread my message around. But they have an issue with getting paid. So talk a little bit about that, about your self-worth and value. It kind of goes hand in hand with confidence as well, but
yeah, so you can't help other people until you help yourself. And this is something that I learned when, so right in college to out of college, I was one of the board of directors on a nonprofit called Rock for Hunger. And we threw rock concerts, going back to my music days, we threw rock concerts to raise money for the homeless shelters and homeless feedings and things like that. Really, really great mission, great dedicated people, but we were all broke and couldn't pay our own bills. How am I supposed to teach this homeless person to get off the streets to now build a life and build his own bills? Like, yes, did we do some good in the community and all that? But I learned really, really quickly that, what was much better? Going after the guy that had $1 million and he could easily donate $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000. I can't. I couldn't even pay my rent, right? And so you have to, I think, help yourself before you help other people. So you look at like Zuckerberg and what he's doing right now. Like, I don't know the exact number, but he's donating 95% of his Facebook income to charities around the world and to startups that deal with all this stuff. You look at a guy like Bill Gates, one of the biggest philanthropists in the entire world. He's able to do that because he's got billions of dollars to do it with. Now, again, you don't need to be a billionaire, but you can't help other people until you help yourself. I started to learn that it's much easier to give back when you're not worrying about in the back of your head, like, man, I'm giving this guy free advice, but I could really use some cash for this. So you have to determine your self-worth, and you have to charge for your products and services. The other realization that I had is, as I started, going up the ranks and started growing the business, is everyone's like, Greg, let's go for coffee. Can I pick your brain? Can I do this? And can I do that? And you want to give back. Again, I wanted to help. I wanted to, share some of my things. And I would go and I'd give coffee and I'd be like, Jessica, do A, B, and C, and you're good. I'd see the person 30 days later and I'd be like, hey, how's A, B, and C doing? And